Digital Gonzo Game Reviews. Vanquish. This review is based on a promotional copy of the game that was very kindly sent to us by Chris Bridgeland. There's a moment in the 2007 live-action Transformers movie when Josh Duhamel's Captain William Lennox, in a desperate attempt to fell the rampaging Decepticon Blackout, gets on a motorbike and races towards him, falling into a dizzying skid and hurtling underneath the enormous killer robot's stamping legs, his back to the tarmac, all the while shooting up at the bastard with a grenade launcher and screaming. That adrenaline-pumping moment of ridiculous stuntery is what 95% of Vanquish feels like. Taken at face value, you have here a cover-based third-person shooter much like Gears of War or Uncharted, but taking it at face value would be to ignore Vanquish's key special features. In most games of this type, it's advisable to actually stay in cover, carefully picking off your targets from a distance when they pop their predictable heads up, and the only quick decisions you may have to make are when it looks like you might be about to be flanked. Not so Vanquish. I personally loathe it when people tell me if I'm not having fun with the game, then I'm playing it wrong. But if you're playing Vanquish like that, then you're playing it wrong. Hiding behind cover will get you killed. These guys shoot it to pieces and swarm you long before you could pick them off in the classic way. Instead, you've been given a suit. A marvel of technology with the ability to slow down time, something we've been enjoying since 2001's Max Payne. However, the addition of jet propellers changes the game dynamic completely. Now, whilst diving forth from cover to attack, you can lean into a breakneck slide on your knees across the battleground, arching your back and taking the time to zero in on your enemy's weak spots. However, all this while the suit is beginning to overheat, so you're going to have to pull out of the bullet time and back to reality before it hits critical, or suffer the terrifying protracted moment of vulnerability as you literally blow your gasket. But it's that moment of vital decision when you've worn down and very nearly felled your foe and have to choose between staying focused, dispatching him, and very likely falling foul of his comrades, or pulling out, finding cover and recharging quickly at the risk of losing your advantage, that form the salty core of the game. Many of the harder battles will leave you without cover at all, and you'll be up against a colossal tank, a cannon that Shinra will be proud of, and robots that make Devastator look like Scooter. The ultimate aim is to get into an almost subconscious rhythm, alternating between the slow-mo slide and diving away to recharge, staying on the move constantly and using the whole area as a frame to seek out rolling sniping points. There's no leveling up, although you can boost the ammo capacity of your guns, but you have to learn to squeeze the most out of the tools you're given. There are moments of delirious action where the world turns upside down and you're surrounded by twisting, snarling, humongous killing machines and the bullets to dispatch them, and in a heartbeat you'll be called upon to unite the two. The only way I can adequately describe playing for an extended period is that it's akin to jumping out of an aeroplane hanging onto the tail of a savage tiger who has a live grenade and the only parachute. That's not to say there aren't flaws. It's very short, there's no multiplayer, the story is some Orson Scott Card bunkum about communist robots in a space station, the marine trooper you go in with haven't even got an eighth of a personality between them, the script is iron-chewing tough guy drivel, and the lead character of Sam is as forgettable as everything else I've just said. The plot is saved from utter mediocrity by the presence of Lieutenant Colonel Robert Burns, who resembles a testosterone-overloaded Santa Claus with a robotic arm. Burns is voiced by Steve Blum, the man who voices Wolverine in Wolverine and the X-Men, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Hulk vs. Wolverine, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, X-Men Legends, and the Wolverine Origins game. Basically, when Hugh Jackman isn't playing him, it's Steve Blum. And he brings to the Colonel a grizzled, foul-tempered gusto and the likely ability to eat nuclear warheads whole, along with some occasionally surprising viewpoints on war that forms this game's only moment of character. Other than that, it's a series of extended fights and dazzling set pieces with a surprising danger factor if you're not paying attention. Two bonus features are an SD mode for what will constitute a grateful minority, and the ability to switch the dialogue to Japanese, which makes it sound less stupid and even a wee bit tougher. Some would say Platinum Games hit the ground stumbling with Mad World, the stylized but repetitive black, white and red brawler for the Wii, but without a doubt they knocked the ball out of the park with the universally adored update of the Devil May Cry formula in the appealing form of Bayonetta. Vanquish didn't sell as well as Bayonetta, possibly because it was released in the run-up to Christmas, which is fast becoming a place for new IPs to get lost in the bottom-heavy annual release schedule. If it had come out on a barren February Friday, more attention would have been grabbed, and deservingly so. It's reassuring to know that this is the slot that Platinum are aiming their next title at. The uniquely pitched online fighter Anarchy Reigns is out January 2012. It's their 5th game in an ongoing publishing deal with Sega, who appear to be doing their best to remind us what short-burst, high-impact arcade fun is like. Now, Vanquish isn't going to win any awards for scripting or longevity, but while it lasts, it's an exhilarating thrill ride. It's available on Amazon right now for £12, and I urge you all to track it down, although the only downside is that I suspect that when I get back to Gears, I am going to find it slow and brown. My name is Alex Shaw. If you enjoyed that review, you can find plenty more musings on video games from me and dozens of other creators at theunchartedkingdom.com.